It's Karen here, and today I'm bringing you 10-minute Pilates for when you are in a hotel room. So perhaps you're on holiday, you're away with work, you can't get to your regular Pilates class, you really want to make sure you can fit it in. And quite probably, if you're sleeping in an unfamiliar bed, your lower back may be telling you all about it, especially if that's coupled with losing your regular activity. Today, I'm doing a short session with you, and all we're using is a towel. I'm going to guess that you're able to find this in your hotel room or wherever you are in the world. So grab your towel and we're going to start rolling it up like a sausage. This is just a hand towel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. Just hit the subscribe button. And if you've got any questions about the session as we go through, please do leave a comment. I would love to hear from you and help you out. Now we're going to start down on the mat. I've recently been away on holiday, and even though I was very active, I wasn't doing the same stuff, and I really felt it in my lower back. So the first thing I'm going to get you to do is actually take this towel and pop it not this way, but actually just between your cheeks. So really down the length of your spine, but low down. So this is running from my sacrum, from the bottom of my spine, right down to my tailbone. I'm going to press my hands down by your sides. If you've done sessions with me before, you will know I love to feel bony parts touching. So my ribs are touching the mat. My hands are touching the mat. I'm going to slide my head out and away. The towel has just lifted my pelvis ever so slightly. So if I am feeling a little bit uncomfortable around the lower back, this should feel really nice. It just opens the vertebra in your spine a little bit. And then I want you to feel you can gently roll your tail under. So this is, imagine you've got a little piece of string on your tail, you're going to pull under and then you're going to release. And with that rolled up towel underneath your spine and down to the base of your pelvis, you've got that lovely sense of just pressing into it. It's straight, so you also know your spine is even, and you're going to get that lovely sense of pressure on your lower back, which is kind of what you really want when your lower back is feeling a little bit tender. As well as stretching the lower back, we are going to add some strength movements because it's really important to keep that strength work going, but also strength work brings circulation to the joint. So that's going to, again, help if your lower back is a little tender. Now take this towel and now we will pop it underneath the width of your pelvis. So that's going to make us a little bit more stable as we come into these next exercises. If you bring your hands down by your sides, still you can feel the ribs connected to the mat, and it's easier to feel the back of the pelvis connected to that towel. And then we're going to let your knee lift up over your hip, and we're going to let that foot come up to the ceiling, and then just bring your foot in towards you so you feel that stretch in the lower back, and then push the ball of the foot away from you, keep it coming, and notice how you open it around the towel. Now to get a little bit more, push through the toe, squeeze through your bottom on this side, you'll get that lovely stretch. So bring your foot in, let your toe come in towards you, feel that lovely stretch in the lower back, and then push through the ball of your foot and open up through your hip, and then you bring that foot back down to the floor. Same thing on the other side. And this is really, before we come into any of our strength work, you want to feel that you've mobilized that area. Push through the ball of the foot, open up through your hip. As you push through the toe, squeeze through your bottom, bring your toe in towards you, feel that lovely opening up through the lower back, and then push that leg away, opening up through your hip. Come back to where we started. So we've done a little curl, we've opened up the hip. We'll take a twist in just a second, but first let's now get that blood flowing around the trunk. So press your hands down by your sides. Let your knees lift over your hips here. You'll find this a little easier if you don't normally do the 100 with something underneath your pelvis. It feels a bit lighter, it's easier to hold this position. I deliberately want those hips slightly higher so these hips here aren't switching on. I want them to just be released and relaxed so you can feel your tummy working. And if you bring your hands onto your tummy, draw your tummy away from your hands. Now what happens if you extend those feet up towards the ceiling and let your fingertips come up to the ceiling and slide your head away? Now whether you're a newcomer to Pilates or you're more experienced, these are always great movements to come back to. They feel so good on your body. So let your ribs gently come down into the mat a little bit more here. So you'll feel we're deliberately opening up that lower back a little more than we normally would in this exercise, but that's so that you can again get that blood flowing around your tummy, open up through the lower back, which is just not having the best of days if you're again sleeping in an unfamiliar bed or just a little less active than normal. Now bring your feet back down to the floor. Now we come into your twist. Come right up onto your toes and slowly allow your knees to come over to one side. Now I'm deliberately keeping that towel there. You might feel it digging into your hip a little bit, and then over to the other side. Gently stretch and then come back in. Now try taking that towel away and see how that back feels now. Sometimes just opening it up and getting it moving makes it feel a little bit more comfortable to come into the next exercises. So now again, pelvis heavy on the mat, ribs down, knees lift up over your hips. We're going to bring your fingertips over your shoulders. Now from here, bring your arms up overhead, but you want to still see them. So don't take them too far for me. Feel the ribs come down, and you're going to push as if you're pushing against something really heavy, and those ribs lift up and away from the floor, and feel those ribs lift in towards your hips. And imagine you're being held from that bottom rib, and then slowly come back down. Keep those knees where they are, feel the ribs come back down, arms come up, and again gently press and push and lift. Come back down, hands back down by your sides, and once more slowly let your knees twist over to the side and just gently stretch. If your back is tender, you might find you need a little bit of support for those legs as you come across. Slowly back round to the middle, and then just gently let your knees come over to the other side. We're going to twist, chest is open, hold that position, and then just gently come back round to center. Now we're going to stay with that idea, but take this cushion, this towel, it's a towel, and we're going to pop it underneath your ribs, just underneath your shoulder blades. Now if you've ever used a soft overball in Pilates, you'll have used it probably in this position. So I want you to just roll. Now you might need to support the back of the head. Roll yourselves over that cushion. It'll feel a little bit lumpy. Feet down. Bring your hands up just to where they were before, and then as you press, we're going to roll and lift away from the mat. Now we get a little assist from that towel. If you've got a big fat towel, your assist is even more because you've got more chunky towel underneath your ribs. Slowly come back down. Now let's bring your knees up over your hips. Still try and feel the pelvis drops down. Those arms come up. On your out breath, we're going to roll up. Now this time, bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. Allow yourself to adjust a little. Pelvis heavy. Reach towards your toes. We're going to breathe in. On your out breath, reach. Breathe in as you breathe out. Feel the tummy comes down. Breathe in. On your out breath, reach, and then back down to the mat. Now if you take that towel, slide it lengthways down between your shoulder blades now, and allow your ribs to open. Bring your fingertips up overhead. Let your arms come out to the sides. We're going to just bend those elbows, allow the ribs to lift. And on your out breath, reach the hands up. Really press those ribs and the spine down in towards your towel. Breathe in, we come out. Exhale, we reach up and then come back down and gently lose that towel. Now it's going to come between your thighs. We're still in a bridge position. You can make this slightly harder by sending your feet further away, but this is all about just getting the back moving. So it really needs to be where it feels good for you. Bring your hands by your sides, gently press and roll. So we're going to roll all the way up now in towards your bridge at the top. Can you lift onto your heels? That's going to get the bottom working a little bit more. Can you let your tail come on under? Press your hands down by your sides. Breathe in. And on your out breath, squeeze that towel between your thighs. Breathe in. On your out breath, squeeze. Let your feet come back down. Hands over your shoulders. Arms all the way up and over your head, and then slowly roll. This is such a great stretch. Back down in towards the mat. Those hands come back down by your sides. Press through your feet. Roll back up in towards your bridge. Arms up, arms overhead. And then slowly roll back down and in towards the mat.
Now, because we're thinking about mobilizing your spine, really important that we include a side bend. Can you come up over onto your side? And then from here, we're going to bring your arm up, find that side bend, and then let your ribs come down in towards the mat. So we breathe in, bring your arm up, and then let your side come down towards the mat. Can you do that with a lift? Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, come back down. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, lower. Then bring your foot to the top of your thigh. Let your body come over your thigh. So again, thinking about stretching out through your hips and through your lower back. And we'll ease down, lift up. Let's bring your legs around to the other side. So we come into your forearm, onto your hips. Start with that side bend. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, let the ribs lower. Breathe in, lift up. Let the ribs lower. Can you come all the way up? Slowly back down. Again, all the way up. Try and breathe in as you lift. Slowly back down. And again, as you come down, foot comes to the top of your thigh. Turn your body over that thigh and just stretch out through your back and through your bottom. Hold that stretch for a breath. And then come back round now from here onto your hands and knees. And from your hands and knees, we're going to push through your hands. Let your head come down, your tail down, those ribs lift. Drop the back into the mat. Again, press and stretch. And drop down, and then back into some side work. This is one of my favorite stretches for really mobilizing your lower back. Let your foot come away from you. Let the foot lift off the floor. I call this the dolphin because it's like a tail swooshing, and that foot comes over. You're going to see, look towards your foot, and that foot comes out, and you're going to look towards your foot. Breathe in, the foot comes over. Notice what's happening through your back as you do this. Try that on the other side. That foot comes out, will come across. Will come out to the side, will come across, will come out to the side, and really as much movement as you want on this one. Feels really good to get that lovely sideways movement. Then we'll come back down onto your forearms. So from here, your eyes are down to the floor. Now I just want to feel that we're opening up through your hip. So you're going to slide one leg out and away, open that hip up, bring your knee down, round your back. Slide the other leg out and away. Open that hip up. Bring that knee in. Round your back. Slide the leg away. Open up. In. And round. And once again, slide the leg away. Open up. In. And down. Now, for balance, let's come down to the floor. One last exercise here. And this is all about getting that back working. Now what's important here as you come down to the floor, we're going to use this in just a second. Try and feel your tail spins down towards your heels. So you get a little hollow under your tummy. You've opened up through the lower back. This is the equivalent of holding that position when you're lying on your back on the mat. You know how I say pelvis down, ribs down? This is the equivalent for your front for this exercise. I want this stable. Your elbows come out by your side. So elbows level with your shoulders, palms down. And that forehead down on the mat. Now, if you want to use your towel, just pop your head down and we're going to lift the arms. Back doesn't move. So we reach the arms up on an in-breath. We slide the elbows down on an out-breath. Reach the arms up on an in-breath. Slide the arms down on an out-breath. Now, here comes the towel. Can you bring that towel? Now, you're going to have it at its diagonal, so it's at its biggest. We start pee on fork, forehead down, tail down to your heels. Let the hands lift up. Now gently apply some stretch. So we're just pulling that towel. Reach the arm up, slide the elbows back. Reach the arm up, slide the elbows back. Reach the arms up, slide the elbows back. Come down, whew. Sit back. Bottom to your heels and just stretch those arms forwards. And breathe. Now you could
do this as a warm-up and then just come into a stronger Pilates session if you have a little time. But just this will be enough to really kind of reset that spine and stop those little niggles kicking in. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this, to subscribe to the channel. I would love it if you did. And again, leave me a comment or a question underneath this video if you've got any questions about it. I will see you next time.